And rather than sit around, we've got them all together today to talk to Angela and to me and to Rachel Reid. Mr. Speaker, we live in probably a more volatile world than we've lived in for many decades. It is absolutely crucial. But in the budget, which was probably the toughest, I'm really pleased that we were able to put so much money into the National Health Service.
Remember when Keir Starmer promised a brighter future for Britain? Fast forward to today, and we're witnessing a spectacular fall from grace that's left the entire nation reeling. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now, back to the video. In this video, we'll dissect the shocking moment that's got everyone talking, from broken promises to policy disasters. You won't believe how quickly public opinion has turned against the man who was once hailed as Labour's great hope. Picture the scene. Keir Starmer, beaming with triumph, stands before a sea of supporters. His victory speech echoes with promises of a brighter Britain, fast-growing economy, fairer society, a fresh start for all. The crowd cheers, hope rekindled, but how quickly those dreams would turn to dust. Starmer's manifesto pledged to make Britain the fastest-growing economy in the G7. Voters latched onto his vision of prosperity and equality, yet barely a year in, the cracks began to show.
Mr. Speaker, I'm privileged to be the proud owner of a copy of the former Prime Minister's new book. It's a rare, unsigned copy. And I took the decision that we would take the hard decisions first. I think anybody who's turned around, I don't know, an organisation or a business. She claims the Tory party's disastrous kamikaze budget that triggered chaos for millions was, her words, the happiest moment of her premiership.
Tax hikes hit hard, blindsiding citizens who'd been assured their wallets were safe. Farmers, once courted by Starmer at the NFU conference, found themselves facing an inheritance tax nightmare. He promised no tax rises, one disillusioned farmer lamented. Now, our very land is at risk. The budget decisions that followed can only be described as catastrophic. Chef Tom Carriage, once a Starmer supporter, didn't mince words. His policies have been detrimental to the economy and failed to support job creation. Business leaders and economists joined the chorus of criticism, pointing to stifled growth and mounting unemployment. As the promises crumbled, a stark reality emerged. Under Starmer's leadership, wealth disparities widened. The public sentiment shifted dramatically, with many feeling his policies favoured elites over ordinary citizens. A Labour MP, in a stunning moment of intra-party conflict, confronted Starmer directly about rising poverty rates and bankrupt farmers. "How can you justify this?" the MP demanded, encapsulating the growing disillusionment within his own ranks. But the betrayal cuts deeper than just economic mismanagement. Starmer's government introduced fast-track courts for rioters, a move critics denounced as authoritarian. This, coupled with his failure to address immigration effectively, paints a troubling picture of a two-tier society emerging under his watch. As we delve into the full extent of Starmer's broken promises, a pattern emerges. His reliance on government intervention has backfired spectacularly, creating a society where the gap between haves and have-nots grows ever wider. Those at the top thrive, while ordinary Brits struggle under the weight of unfulfilled pledges and misguided policies. Is it any wonder, then, that public discontent is boiling over? As we'll see, the streets of Britain are about to erupt in protest, with Starmer's leadership facing its greatest challenge yet. The streets of Britain have become a pressure cooker, ready to blow. As protesters gather in unprecedented numbers, one question looms large. Is Keir Starmer's political career about to implode on the world stage? scenes of public outrage have become all too common across the UK. Starmer's failure to deliver on his promises has ignited a firestorm of discontent. But it's not just the average citizen who's had enough. Even within Labour's ranks, dissent is brewing. MPs are openly questioning Starmer's leadership, with one Labour representative confronting him directly about rising poverty rates and bankrupt farmers. As criticism mounts from all sides, Starmer's attempts to regain control have only fanned the flames. His proposed social media regulations, aimed at limiting fake news, have sparked fierce debate. Critics argue these measures could infringe on free speech, raising alarm bells about government overreach. The vague definition of legal but harmful content has many wondering, who gets to decide what we can and can't say online? Starmer's contradictory statements on key issues haven't helped his cause. One moment he's promising no tax hikes, the next he's introducing policies that hit farmers with crippling inheritance taxes. It's no wonder the public feels betrayed and confused. But perhaps the most damning blow to Starmer's credibility comes from an unexpected quarter. Tech mogul Elon Musk has coined a phrase that's caught fire across social media: two-tier Keir. This biting critique encapsulates the growing perception that Starmer's policies favor elites over ordinary citizens, creating a widening gap between the haves and have-nots. On the international stage, Starmer's leadership is viewed as an embarrassment. Once hailed as Labour's great hope, he's now seen as a politician in free fall, unable to control his own party, let alone lead a nation. The whispers of discontent within Labour are growing louder, raising questions about how long Starmer can maintain his position before facing a full-blown party revolt. As public disdain deepens, the consequences for Labour and the UK's future look increasingly dire. With Starmer at the helm, the party that once promised a brighter Britain now faces the prospect of electoral oblivion. The public sentiment is clear. Starmer's leadership is seen as prioritising the interests of powerful elites over the welfare of ordinary citizens. As the divide between him and the public widens, one can't help but wonder, how much longer can Starmer cling to power before the weight of his broken promises finally brings him down? Keir Starmer's journey from Labour's great hope to political pariah is a stark reminder of how quickly fortunes can change in the corridors of power. The chasm between his lofty promises and the grim reality facing Britain today is undeniable. As experts warn of a potential historical decline under his leadership, one can't help but wonder, how much longer can the UK endure this crisis of confidence? Starmer's reliance on excessive taxation and government intervention has not only stifled economic growth, but also eroded public trust. His inconsistent policies and contradictory statements have left many questioning his ability to lead. As one political analyst aptly put it, Starmer's habit of contradicting himself and delivering empty promises has eroded public trust, making him a source of embarrassment on the world stage. This damning assessment encapsulates the fall from grace of a man who once promised to rebuild Britain, but now stands accused of tearing it apart.